Hi everybody, Michael Franzese here. Welcome to the first Mob Story Monday. And I'm going to be telling stories every Monday about experiences in my life, people that I knew. I get asked about it all the time. And when I run out of stories or I don't want to tell a story, I'm going to be reviewing a mob movie. So it's going to be Mob Movie Monday. They're going to be short stories, short scenes. I'm not going to get too elaborate on it because we have so many of them. But I think you're going to enjoy it. I get so many questions about this. People asking me about Gotti and Castellano and Fat Tony and the whole bit. So I'm going to tell you my experiences with them. I think you'll enjoy it. And people, I don't knock people. I made it a point a long time ago. I don't build my brand based upon knocking other people. There were people I liked in that life, people I didn't like that much. You know, same as in ordinary life. Mob life's the same thing. So you're not going to get any of that, but I think you're going to enjoy it. So today, okay, for story number one. You know, I was in the gasoline business for a long time, 8 years as a matter of fact, defrauded the government out of tax on every gallon of gasoline, big operation. The Russians were involved with me, had over 350 gas stations, had wholesale companies, the whole bit. We were bringing into our operation several $1 million a week. When you start to get that kind of clout, you know, people start to hear about you. I had a jet plane, a helicopter, I had a big crew, starts to kind of travel throughout all the 5 families in New York and really all over the country. Well, Fat Tony Salerno, boss of the Genovese family, guy I knew pretty well, met him several times. He sends for me one day, and I was a capo in the Colombo family, but when a boss from another family sends for you, you go. So I put it on record with my boss. Tony wants to see me, and I go see him. He had a club in Harlem, a social club. And I don't know if you know who Fat Tony was. He was about 5'6", 5'7", short guy, a little bit, you know, chubby, I would say. Smoked a cigar, always wore a fedora, right out of Central Casting, right? Talked like a real tough guy, but a really good guy. So I go see him in Harlem. And he looks at me that day. We're sitting in front of his club, and he says to me, "Hey, Mike, how you doing?" I said, "I'm doing good, Tony." He says, "I hear you're making a lot of money in this gas business. Is that true?" I said, "Tony, I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain." He says, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I got a favor to ask you." I said, "Tony, anything you want that I can do, you got it." He's the boss, right? He said, "I got these 5 mamalukes around me. They can't earn 5 cents. He says, you do me a favor, you give them a job for me?" I said, "Sure, Tony, no problem." He said, "Well, what will they do?" I said, "Well, you know, I have a bunch of gas stations. Maybe I'll put them in charge of a gas station. They'll operate it and they'll run it for me. I'll tell them what to do and how to, you know, operate for me." He says, I said, "But Tony, please, you know these guys sometimes." I said, "Don't let them rob me. You know how these guys are." He said, "Rob you? I cut off their hands, their arms." I said, "Well, you don't have to do that, Tony." I said, "But just, you know, keep them in line." He said, "Don't worry about it." So he says to me, "How much are they going to earn?" So now I'm thinking about it, you know, Tony, the boss, I don't want to insult him. I want to make sure I say the right thing. I said, "Tony, how about I give him $1,500 in cash a week? Will that make you happy? That satisfy you?" He looks at me, he goes, "1,500? The cigar almost fell out of his mouth. He says, "Give them 500, give me the 1,000. I said, "Hey, Tony, anything that you want. You're the boss." But that was my relationship with Fat Tony. Put those guys to work. He was happy. That's story number one. See you next Monday.